it's a slow process coming to the look of a film, really. You know, I mean, it takes a while. We start off by just discussing the script. It's actually more discussions about the script than it is about the look. You know, it's like, well, do you really need this dialogue, or how do we get from here to here more, you know, more economically? And it's that kind of discussions. And then gradually you start talking about, you know, images. I mean, Denny will gather images, I'll get images, and we'll talk about different things, you know. I mean, I brought up, you know, the photographs of Alex Webb, for instance. I mean, as a photographer, I really admire, but I thought it was kind of pertinent to this film in the sense of his use of colour and the complexity of his compositions. And you can't do that in a movie, really, because he's doing still photograph. You do it in a movie, it becomes too, you know, almost too busy. But you know, you take images and use them as sort of reference points, you know.
Does he work in a more planified or more improvised way?
Well, both. I mean, we storyboarded quite a lot, but then sometimes you storyboard a scene and you throw it out the window when you go to shoot it, but you've always got that as a backstay, you know, you've always got the basics worked out. I think it's really good story. I learned this probably more than anybody from the Coen brothers. You know, you storyboard something and it kind of teaches you to sort of focus on the essence of the scene and what that is to you, you know, to alter the film in that particular film. Because a scene in one, you know, particular kind of scene in one film might require a different perspective than the same scene in another movie. So, you know, you kind of work like that. Storyboards are very good for that.
So, obviously you shot Alexa, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Alexa at the moment's the best camera out there, yeah. We shot Open Gate, the first time I shot Open Gate, yeah. I mean, it's funny, because only a few months previously I heard that there was this opportunity to use more of the sensor and get a slightly higher resolution. So, yeah, I didn't realise it was possible before, but it was good, yeah.
And do you shoot at the 800 ASA base?
Mostly, I mean, on some night exteriors, if I really need the exposure, I'll go to 1280 or something like that. But I did more of that on Prisoners than on Sicario. Sicario was mostly 800, yeah. I think there's one night exterior we pushed it a little bit, yeah.
And you use master primes?
Yeah, master primes, yeah.
Did you work at full aperture?
Most of it, the night scenes, you know, shooting around, yeah, more or less wide open or two, you know. But the day scenes, I like, you know, if you're shooting a bright exterior, I like to shoot at a deep stop because I think it reflects, you know, what I see by eye on a bright day. But it just depends on the scene and the shot. But that's generally my approach, yeah.
And do you have LUTs and DITs?
Yeah, I've worked with a DIT ever since In Time, the first digital film I did. Same DIT, been with me, Skyfall and Unbroken and everything. We set one LUT. I'm basically using the same LUT we had on Skyfall, and I just adapted a bit. On Prisoners, we just desaturated it a little bit and added a bit of contrast. For this film, we brought up the colour a little bit, but that was about all. You know, it was basically the same LUT. Yeah, I don't like messing with it much. You know, I try and do everything I can in the lighting, and I don't like manipulation on the file. I like to keep it just as a one light kind of deal, really.
And is that what is used in editorial, or do you grade the dailies a bit more?
Well, we have a timer, just as we would with lab timing. Yeah. So, but it's just a consistency thing, because I'm especially on a film like Sicario, you're doing a lot of exterior. We did a lot of twilight scenes, for instance. So, you know, when you're shooting, you start shooting half an hour before the lights go in completely, and then, you know, and you're judging the exposure. I haven't got time to go back and forth and look at a monitor and all that. I don't do that. I just shoot. And so sort of balancing that out, you know, the colour changes, obviously, as it gets darker, the colour changes and the whole quality of the light changes. So, you know, we did some balancing on things like that. That's where it really comes. It was very important. Otherwise, the editor's cut is a little bit all over the place.
Yeah. The director gets used to images.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the case with Denny because he kind of understands it very well. But I like to produce a dailies that are as close to the final image that I want as possible, yeah.
And the grading, how did that
I think we used 6 days doing a DI, yeah, it was pretty fast, really. It was sort of there, I mean, you do some things are balancing a few things out, the odd sort of window here and there, but not much. I say most of it I do in camera, really. I mean, on some films I've spent a lot more than that, but yeah, that was like 6 days, I think, basically.
And did you feel the open gate helped out in grading? Or?
Yes, well, it helps a lot. I mean, especially on those wide exteriors, the wide day, bright exteriors. I mean, night work, you're not really noticing it very much. But on the wide day exteriors, you do notice that's like extra quality. And you notice it in a face as well, frankly. I think the detail in a face is just slightly enhanced, yeah. I thought the image quality, in terms of its resolution and just that tiny little bit of movement from the feeling of the pixels moving or whatever, just the Alexa has a little bit of life to it. And I think if you go too far, the image becomes lifeless. So I like that bit of texture it has, yeah.